Recently, I had a subscriber ask me if I could make a video on how to train for powerlifting and Olympic lifting at the same time, but with powerlifting being the main focus and Olympic lifting being secondary to it. So I'm going to outline exactly what I would do personally to train for both sports, as well as give you the reasoning for everything in the program and the drawbacks of such a program. So let's get to it. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to be making a few assumptions when I outline this program. Since it isn't really intended for beginners anyway, I'm going to assume that you're at least an intermediate level lifter with a couple years experience under your belt. I'm also going to assume that you're at least somewhat proficient in all the movements necessary to train for these two sports. The snatch is obviously the most technical, followed by the clean and jerk, and then the power lifts and their variations. But I'm operating under the assumption that you can do all these things with at least somewhat decent technique. I also want to note before I dole out this advice that I'm first and foremost a powerlifter. I have competed in and had respectable success in powerlifting. I'm not, however, an Olympic lifter. There was a period of time where I trained the Olympic lifts almost exclusively, and I hit personal best lifts of 110 kilograms in the snatch and 140 kilograms in the clean and jerk. However, that doesn't mean that I didn't think the program out very carefully. And even though I'm no longer interested in training the Olympic lift seriously, I prepared the program in the same meticulous manner that I prepare my own programs. So everything is placed where it's placed for a reason. The order of the exercises, the intensity of the exercises, where they fall in the week, where the rest days are placed, are all strategic. Nothing was written haphazardly. So anyway, let's take a look at the first two sessions of the program. Now, the whole program calls for 4 sessions a week. But today, for the sake of brevity, I'm only going to be showing you sessions 1 and 2 and releasing the first half of the program. I'll be releasing the second half of the program in a few days in part 2 of this series, as well as posting the entire program on my blog for an easier visual reference. In the first session of the week, we have to work up to a heavy set of 5 in the back squat and then do some clean and jerks. Now, because we're prioritizing powerlifting over Olympic lifting, we're going to squat before we do the clean and jerks. After we hit our heaviest set of 5 in the squat, we'll stop the exercise for the day and move on to the next one. No need for any back offsets today. Now, when you squat on this program, I recommend that you do a high bar squat and you squat as deep as you are capable of with each rep. This style of squatting will hinder your training poundages somewhat if you're a proficient low bar squatter. However, if you're not focusing on squatting with an upright torso to full depth, you'll never gain the leg strength necessary to make big improvements in your Olympic lifts, nor will you ever be able to develop solid positions in them. Plus, you can always transition to low bar a few months out from a powerlifting meet if that's how you prefer to squat in competition, and your strength gains will transfer over to low bar as you peak for a meet. This is a technique that the famous Fred Hatfield, aka Dr. Squat, was known to do. Okay, so next we move on to the clean and jerk. The goal here is to work up to a solid, heavy single. If you miss a weight 3 times on the way up, then you stop there, and the last weight that you hit counts as your top weight for the day. At this point, you take 30 to 50 pounds off from the top weight that you hit, and you do about 3 to 5 sets of 2 reps. If you're feeling good, you can do more. If you're feeling crappy, then do less. Session 2 starts off with the snatch. Now, even though the power lifts are our priority, we place the snatch before the bench press because it's a highly technical lift and we want to do it while we're at our freshest. Also, if we tire our shoulders out first by benching, we won't be able to hold anything substantial overhead when it comes time to snatch. So, we snatch first. The programming for the snatch is the same as the clean and jerk. Work up to a heavy single. Again, if you miss a weight 3 times, you stop there. Then take 30 to 50 pounds off the top weight and do 5 to 7 sets of 3 reps. You can do a little bit more volume on the snatch than you can on the clean and jerk because it's more technical and less physically draining. After this, we move on to the bench. Just like on our heavy squat day, we're going to work up to a heavy set of 5 today on the bench, striving to hit a new 5 rep max. After we hit our top set of 5, we reduce the bar weight by 20 to 30 pounds and knock out another 2 to 3 sets of 5 reps to get in a bit more volume. After you finish benching, you should do some direct work for the rear delts to balance out all the pressing you just did. You can do band pull-aparts, face pulls with a band or with a pulley if you have access to one, rear delt flies with a pair of dumbbells. It doesn't really matter, whatever you feel like doing, you just need to get the work in for the rear delts. The load should be kept relatively light, and 3 to 5 sets of 15 to 20 reps should be sufficient. Alright guys, that just about wraps it up for part 1 of the series. Make sure that you check out the corresponding blog post, which I will link down below in the description. You'll be able to see the whole program written out there into a table exactly as it should be done, as well as explanations on a few things. Also, make sure you check back in a few days for part 2 of the series. I'll go over sessions 3 and 4 of the program, as well as go into a little bit more detail about why things are structured the way that they're structured and how you progress on the program. But that's all I've got for now, so please make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys next time.